Hokage Saga, Invincible Power by Sacrificing Emotional Intelligence. Episode 11, How? Sarutobi looked at the members of the Dark Division. Wearing a tanuki mask. Codename Tanuki. The tanuki said, "Back to Naruto-sama, I have carefully observed in the past 2 days, Aoki Shiraishi has not done anything special. After returning from the ninja school, he drinks tea, and in the evening, he enters the room to rest. Not to mention that compared to Naruto, or even compared to Nara Shikamaru, Shiraishi is much lazier. It's like those old men who are retired." Ape Fairy frowned. Didn't do any training? No, not at all. In fact, even in the ninja school, Shiraishi is very lazy, but Shiraishi's grades are very good, so everyone doesn't think so. Sarutobi stood up. Can anyone really be genius to this extent? It doesn't make sense. Even if it was the original Watergate, the training was no less than Naruto now. The tanuki hesitated. Then Naruto-sama, or should I continue to observe for a while? Good. The tanuki left. Ape Fairy's eyes lit up and said, "All ninjutsu, physical arts, illusion techniques, just look at it once, you can learn it, even if there is no blood succession limit, but combining ninjutsu is definitely not a problem for Shiraishi. Give Shiraishi time, and Shiraishi will become a ninja doctor stronger than me." Civilian ninja origin. There is nothing to worry about. Sarutobi got up and paced back and forth. Cultivate well, wait until the future, maybe you can succeed Hokage. But it's Shiraishi's character. Ape Fairy thought of Shiraishi's character, and couldn't help but grow his head for a while. I can only take my time and find a teacher who is a little more patient. As long as you are willing to work hard, there is a high probability that it can change. Ape Flying Sun looked in one direction. The direction in which the root is located. The organization created by the Tuanzo. Derived from the dark part, but now it is a separate existence. Full vesting in Tuanzang. You can't let Tuanzo get the white stone. But at this time, Tuanzo already knew about the existence of Shiraishi. A commoner's genius? Tuanzang's eyes flickered. This kind of genius, don't go to the roots, it's a pity. So, the people who monitored Shiraishi became two. One dark part, one root. A month passed quickly. Students. Irika walked into the classroom. Today is the day of the final test, after the discussion of Naruto-sama and many teachers. The assessment project has finally been decided. That's 3. Transfiguration, doppelganger, avatar. Only if all 3 projects pass are considered passed. As soon as Irika's words fell, Naruto's face immediately became bitter. I want to take the doppelganger technique. Naruto let out a wail. Sasuke, on the other hand, looked back at where Shiraishi was. 3 times, Sasuke was defeated at the hands of Shiraishi. This time, Sasuke did not expect to surpass Shiraishi, but at least he had to do it to the extent that Shiraishi could look different. No one thinks they can surpass Shiraishi. This month, Shiraishi clearly let everyone know what a true genius is. In comparison, Sasuke's genius name has almost become a joke. Shiraishi didn't care much. Instead, he closed his eyes. A skill tree appeared in Shiraishi's mind. Physique, chakra extraction, chakra control, transfiguration, doppelganger, avatar, Narukami no Jutsu. Talent points remaining, 1024. The first one, Sakura. Sakura stepped onto the podium. Let's get started. Yes, teacher. Sakura immediately began to seal the print. Transfiguration, avatar, stand-in, one after another. Qualified. Irika ticked the book. Next, Sasuke. Qualified. Sasuke hesitated. Irika-sensei, am I just qualified? It's not. Irika shook his head and said, this is the graduation exam, so it is only divided into pass and fail. Whether it is good or excellent, it will not be divided into separate grades, this way. Sasuke was a little disappointed. Originally, Sasuke was also going to behave well this time and make Shiraishi look at him differently. Irika-sensei, can't you divide the grading into more granular grades? This is Naruto-sama's decision. Okay. Sasuke returned to his seat, looking dejected. The next moment. Naruto, it's your turn. Naruto was a little worried. Irika-sensei, can you change a project? Can I skip the doppelganger exam? No, this is a unified assessment. But it's nothing, Naruto, the doppelganger technique is very basic ninjutsu, since you can learn the transfiguration technique, then you have no reason not to learn the doppelganger technique, let's start. Okay. Naruto began to seal up. Without accident, he fell on the doppelganger. Unqualified. Irika pronounced the next name. Aoki Shiraishi. Shiraishi stepped forward. Qualified. Naruto looked at Shiraishi with deep envy in his eyes. Irika coughed dryly. Okay, this exam, it's all over. Those who pass the assessment, congratulations, you are about to become a subordinate. If you don't pass, don't be discouraged, you still have the opportunity to make up the exam. Let's work hard during this time. Naruto found Shiraishi. Shiraishi, can you help me make up the lessons? Teach me doppelganger, I refuse. Episode 12, Why? I can give you money, it's not a question of money not money. Shiraishi shook his head and said, you're too dish, I don't want to teach it. No EQ event trigger, talent plus 12. Naruto. But now Naruto was no longer so angry at Shiraishi's words. A month, somewhat adapted to some. Naruto gritted his teeth. Shiraishi, don't you think you can't do it? Naruto had an exaggerated expression on his face, and when he used it with the agitation method, he looked like a villain. Shiraishi raised his eyebrows. Naruto, I found that I was wrong, you are not only a rookie in the doppelganger, but even have a problem with IQ, don't you think? Such a simple radical method, I can't see it. So what are you going to do to teach me? Whatever it is, I can say yes. Shiraishi had already left, and when he heard this, he couldn't help but stop. Looking back at Naruto. Any conditions? That's right. Naruto had a little premonition in his heart, but he still agreed with his neck twisted. Because Naruto really didn't want to graduate without a career. Naruto wanted to be a ninja, a real ninja. 1 year. Shiraishi held up a finger. What year? Within a year, you have cleaned all the sanitation in my house, removed weeds in the yard, guarded the vines and orange trees, and cleaned the interior. Naruto felt some tingling in his scalp. Shiraishi's yard, Naruto has been. That's not small at all. And cleaning, this thing Naruto has always disliked. Naruto doesn't even want to tidy up his own room. How? Naruto was weighing in, hesitating. Naruto, Shiraishi doesn't teach you, I teach you. Inuzuka on the side walked over and said, isn't it just the doppelganger technique, little meaning? Inuzuka passed the test and was very happy. Naruto rolled his eyes. Is your passage comparable to Shiraishi's? Naruto turned to Shiraishi and made a decision. Shiraishi, I promise, as long as you can let me pass the assessment, I will promise you to be responsible for the sanitation of your home for a year. Deal. Then let's start now. Naruto followed. Inuzuka was upset. Naruto, what do you mean? Look down on me? If he was despised by Shiraishi, it would be nothing. After all, in this class, there is no one who is not despised by Shiraishi. Geniuses such as Sasuke are all rubbish in Shiraishi's eyes. But now he was actually taunted by Naruto. Inuzuka couldn't stand it. Sasuke, who had already walked out of the classroom, heard the voices of several people and couldn't help but be interested. In the entire class, the only person Sasuke identified with was Shiraishi. Now Sasuke is enlisting Shiraishi's approval. Why so many people? Shiraishi turned around and saw the 5 people following behind him, and the corners of his mouth twitched. Naruto, Inuzuka yeah. Even Sasuke followed. As soon as Sasuke came, Sakura and Ino followed. Shiraishi showed a skeptical expression. You don't want to come to my house for food, do you? I tell you, no way. Sasuke's face darkened. No, I just wanted to see how Shiraishi taught Naruto. Sakura and Ino looked at each other, and their eyes looked like they disliked each other. So are we. Naruto was happy to see Sakura. Sakura, are you worried that I won't pass the exam, so you cheered me on? Thank you. Sakura rolled her eyes. It's not. Shiraishi looked around and said, the process of teaching Naruto is not something you can watch casually, you have to watch, it's very simple, just like Naruto, take on the cleaning of my home. Naruto is 1 year, so how about you guys, just 3 months? Inuzuka immediately turned around and walked. Cleaning is something Inuzuka doesn't do at home. Also cleaning for others? How can it be? But at this time, Sasuke nodded in agreement. Okay, I can. Sakura and Ino widened their eyes. Inuzuka couldn't help but look back. Hesitate. Even Sasuke is willing, should I agree? If you don't agree, please go out now. Shiraishi began to rush people. I agree. Inuzuka agreed. Shiraishi looked at Sakura and Ino again. Sakura struggled for a moment. Shiraishi, we are girls, can we be less? Girls? Shiraishi shook his head and said, isn't it better to be a girl? You should be better at cleaning up this kind of thing, Sakura. That's when Sakura and Ino remembered. Shiraishi is completely a person who does not understand pity Seong Seong and cherish Jade. Sakura vividly remembers being knocked to the ground by Shiraishi. Okay, we promise. Shiraishi nodded, took a piece of paper and wrote the contract on it. Sign your name. Still want to sign, don't you still trust us? Distrust. Everyone. As a last resort, everyone had to sign their names. Shiraishi carefully put the contract away. After that, look at Naruto. So, Naruto, let's get started. Yes. You first use the doppelganger to show me. Good. Naruto's expression was serious, and he began to seal it. Doppelganger. Episode 13. A mass of inexplicably shaped things appeared in front of everyone. This avatar is chic enough. Shiraishi glanced at it and made an evaluation. Naruto's face turned red and embarrassed. But immediately, Naruto hid his embarrassment. That's why I need Shiraishi to teach me. Let's learn to seal first. Shiraishi took a serious look. Naruto's chakra control ability is actually okay, otherwise he can't use the transformation technique to get an A-grade rating here, and then learn the spiral pill. The weakness lies in the sealing. 2 hands, not very controlled. In other words, Naruto's left and right brains, which are not very balanced. Shiraishi threw out 2 wooden sticks. What am I going to do? Naruto was holding a wooden stick, dazed. Shiraishi pointed to the ground. 2 hands holding sticks and drawing the same pattern on the ground. Let's start with a simple one, draw a circle. Just like this. Shiraishi made a demonstration. Does this work? Naruto was a little suspicious. Shiraishi glanced at Naruto lightly and said, only the weak are used to questioning and denying. This sentence is really not wrong. Naruto, you don't think you know more about doppelganger than me, right? I'm sorry. Naruto quickly picked up the wooden stick and began to draw. Originally, Naruto thought it would be easy, but after really trying, Naruto found that it was not like that at all. Hard. When 2 hands start to paint at the same time, there is always one hand, and it becomes difficult to control. Inability to focus on both hands at the same time. I don't think it's useful. Inuzuka shook his head and said, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with doppelganger. Naruto, you're wasting your time, only idiots would do this. But by this time, Sasuke had already shown a thoughtful expression. After hesitating for a moment, Sasuke came to the other side of Naruto. Took 2 sticks and did the same thing as Naruto. Draw circles with your left hand and circles with your right hand. But what Sasuke drew was much better than Naruto's. That's the gap between the two. Sakura and Ino were originally skeptical, but after seeing Sasuke do this, they sided with Sasuke. Inuzuka, yeah, that's just that you don't understand. That's why Shiraishi and Sasuke are geniuses, and you're the crane tail. That's right. Inuzuka received the wide eyes of Sakura and Ino and couldn't help scratching his head. Who did you provoke? Shiraishi made himself a cup of tea, sat down in a chair, leaned against the back of the chair, and looked at the people opposite. Outside. Both the members of the Dark Division and the members of the Root Division showed thoughtful expressions. Soon Sasuke had completed the step of drawing circles with both hands at the same time. 2 circles, almost identical. Shiraishi, what's next? Shiraishi shook his head and didn't say. Sasuke understood what Shiraishi meant. How about I extend the time for you to clean up to 1 year? Good. The next step, just change a more complex pattern, come and sign. Sasuke was abrupt. This is an obvious thing, I didn't expect it. Simple drawing, complicated painting, isn't it? I even caught a ride for a year. Sasuke regretted it. Secretly say that you are stupid. Don't want to sign? I sign. Sasuke changed the time to a year, before signing his name again. Naruto glared fiercely at Sasuke next to him. Aya. Stinky fart Sasuke, you did it on purpose, right? Naruto was angry and felt that Sasuke was deliberately engaged in his own mentality. Originally, Naruto's state of mind was still very peaceful. Whatever Shiraishi says, Naruto will do, don't think for yourself, just follow what Shiraishi said. But now Sasuke was drawing next to it. Draw and draw. But the point is that this guy Sasuke draws faster than himself. This made Naruto intolerable. People like to compare. Naruto especially likes to compare himself to Sasuke because of Sakura. Now seeing Sasuke progress so fast, it was almost like vomiting blood. This training project was obviously given to him by Shiraishi. Idiot. Sasuke glanced at Naruto. Do you think I'll care about you? What Shiraishi said, you forgot? How can people go and compare with ants on the side of the road? Unknowingly, Sasuke also learned Shiraishi's speaking style. Probably because Sasuke targeted Shiraishi. From the beginning of the Unconvinced to now. Shiraishi, with his talent, conquered Sasuke. Sasuke couldn't help but compare Shiraishi with his older brother, Uchiha Itachi. When he realized that Shiraishi might be a genius more genius than Uchiha Itachi, Sasuke couldn't help but be a little happy. Naruto's mentality exploded. Stinky fart Sasuke, I'm going to compete with you. People don't compete with ants. Shiraishi picked up the teacup and took a sip. Boring rookie chick indoor. But Shiraishi was quite happy. Naruto for a year, Sasuke for a year, Sakura, Ino, Inazukaya, all 3 months. In the next nearly 3 years of sanitation, Shiraishi does not need to do it himself. Night. The dark Tanuki entered the Hokage's office. I reported today's events. Do 2 hands draw the same pattern at the same time? Sarutobi hesitated and picked up 2 pens. After painting, Sarutobi looked over. Not exactly the same. Even, several places are different. Apefei chopped a little embarrassed dry cough, quietly, crumpled the paper into a ball. It's a good training method. Episode 14, it looks like it's going to be. Apefei Richo's heart valued Shiraishi more. I don't know if this is the method that Shiraishi summed up before, or if it was thought up for Naruto after seeing Naruto's situation. If it were the latter, it would be terrifying. Just by looking at Naruto's avatar, you can determine where Naruto is wrong, and immediately find a way to help Naruto improve the problem. Before Sarutobi Hinata, he felt that he, the ninja doctor, could still teach Shiraishi, the future ninja doctor. But now it seems simply impossible. Shiraishi didn't need to teach himself at all. In other words, he is not qualified to teach Shiraishi. Sarutobi is very clear that his name as Dr. Ninja has been earned through decades of hard work. But Shiraishi, no need. The time for the dark part to observe Shiraishi has not been short. Shiraishi really hasn't trained. After class, I came home, finished dinner, and lay down in the yard to rest. Read a book and hang out. They even go to places where retired old men gather. Play chess with these old men. Where is this what a teenager should do? Before, Nara Shikamaru's laziness gave Iruka a headache. But Shiraishi's laziness, compared to Nara Shikamaru, is only strong, not weak. It's just that Shiraishi's genius aura is too strong. So that no one else can see it. Everything, just read it once, don't even practice. The next day. Naruto and the others came again. Naruto, Sasuke, Inazukaya, all 3 stared at the thick dark circles on their bodies. Sakura and Ino are in good shape. Shiraishi understood it at a glance. Naruto 3 people must have stayed up late to practice after going back. Inazukaya, saying in a mouth, couldn't see this training method, but after going back, he actually practiced secretly. Shiraishi, what's the next stage of training? Naruto looked at Sasuke involuntarily. Last night, Naruto stayed up late practicing before he could practice drawing circles well. Originally, Naruto thought that he would catch up with Sasuke's progress today. As a result, Sasuke came with such a sentence. Still let people not live? Next, well, then draw circles with your left hand and squares with your right. So simple? Sasuke didn't find it anything difficult. Shiraishi nodded. It's easy, but I don't think you can do it. No EQ event trigger, talent +6. Sasuke was not convinced, and suddenly straightened his chest. I can do it now. Hearing Shiraishi's questioning, Sasuke suddenly became passionate, feeling that this was a good opportunity to prove himself to Shiraishi. 2 sticks to pick up. Everyone's eyes were on Sasuke. Draw a circle with your left hand. Draw squares with your right hand. The next moment, Sasuke was embarrassed and showed an extremely embarrassed expression. Haha, that's it? Naruto scoffed. Sakura and Ino glared at Naruto at the same time. Naruto didn't notice it in the slightest. Above the ground, 2 patterns, circle is not a circle, square is not square. Sasuke was really embarrassed. Before starting, Sasuke was full of confidence. But after starting, Sasuke realized that this thing was really not simple. I'll come. Naruto swaggered over. Look at me. Even if I don't succeed, I won't be worse than these 2 paintings. Naruto hadn't sensed the difficulty yet. Sasuke stepped aside and looked at Naruto with a mocking smile. Naruto began. But soon, Naruto showed an embarrassed expression. Exactly the same as Sasuke just now. Shiraishi shook his head. Forget it, I'll show you what. I found that you people, as rookie chickens, but do not have the consciousness of rookie chickens, with your talent, where did you have the courage to start drawing so quickly? If the ability is not good, slow it down. Shiraishi picked up 2 wooden sticks. Look. On the left hand, a human face is drawn. On the right hand, a dog is drawn. Inuzuka and Akamaru. Perfect. Without the slightest jitter. This is me? Inuzuka's eyes widened. It seems to be. Sasuke and Naruto's faces showed shocked expressions. They who have just experienced it understand that this is not an ordinary difficulty. Circles and squares are already hard. Not to mention the one that Shiraishi is painting now. I know, I'm going to start working hard. Naruto's eyes burned with fighting spirit and he returned to his position. Slow down? Sasuke next to him also entered the state. Inuzuka was very entangled next to him. On the one hand, he wanted to practice like Naruto and them. But on the other hand, I don't want Shiraishi to see it. After hesitating for a while, he ran next to Naruto. Naruto, this is going to be so. Inuzuka began to point at Naruto. This made Naruto very upset. Don't bother me by talking. Shiraishi read the book. After that, glanced up at the time. Classmate with a big forehead. Shiraishi looked at Sakura. Huh? Go buy me a tonkatsu ramen, add meat. A copy? How about that? But there are 6 of us here. Shiraishi looked at Sakura suspiciously. I eat mine, what do you have to do with me? No EQ event trigger, talent +7. Sakura. Then why should I help you buy it? Sakura reacted. Shiraishi nodded. Episode 15, good. Ino turned to Sasuke. Sasuke, do you want something to eat? Sasuke hesitated. Then I'm the same as Shiraishi. Good. Bring me a copy too. And me. Naruto and Inuzuka said. Inuzuka, yeah, you're okay again, why can't you buy it yourself? Inuzuka looked at Naruto and said a little reluctantly, okay, I'll go with you. A group of 3 walked out of the courtyard. At this time, many people were gathering in the Hokage building to discuss the matter of class classification. Those people don't talk about passers-by, just find a middle ninja to match. The point is the presence of those who are not passers-by. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Ino, Shikamaru, Tenji, Hinata, Inuzuka, Shino, and Shiraishi. Even if Naruto has not passed the assessment yet, he is already on the list of 8 flying sunslashes. Ino, Shikamaru, Dingji, these 3 people don't need to continue to discuss. Asuma, I'll leave it to you to be responsible. Yes, my lord. Asuma nodded. The relationship between the pig deer butterfly and the ape flying family is very close. For families is the alliance. And the pig deer butterfly is equivalent to a subordinate family of the ape flying family. The younger generation of pig deer butterflies, let Asuma lead the team, is the most suitable. Hinata, Inuzuka, Shino, a 3-person squad, led by Yuhi Red. Sunset Red stepped forward. Yes, Naruto-sama. This can be regarded as the loyalty of the 3 ninja families to the ape flying sun. The relationship between Sunset Red and Asuma is extraordinary. The Hyuga clan, the Oil Lady clan, and the Inuzuka clan are all considered the big family of Konoha. With the extermination of the Uchiha clan, the power of the Hokage system is unprecedentedly condensed. Although within the Hokage department, there are still differences. The interests of the ape flying line and the regimental Tibetan line are not completely aligned. But when it comes to Hinata, Inuzuka, and Oil Girl, Naruto's attitude is the same. Now that's all. Sasuke, Naruto, Shiraishi is left, what do you think? Let the 3 of them form a squad. Not good. Kakashi shook his head and said, these 3 people, the problem is bigger than the one, Naruto-sama, I'm afraid I don't have the ability to bring the 3 of them well. Asuma also said, Father, these 3 people are indeed very problematic. Naruto won't say anything, the ability to break into trouble is first class. Sasuke, carrying something like that again. Shiraishi's words, genius is genius, but the problem of personality is bigger than Naruto and Sasuke combined. If these 3 people form a squad, it will be really difficult to hold down. Ape Flying Sun glanced at Asuma. In fact, Ape Flying Sun Chopper had thought about letting Asuma take Shiraishi. But after thinking about it for a long time, forget it. Pig deer butterflies are not suitable for separation. If the sunset is red, Ape Flying Sun Chopper feels that he can't stop Shiraishi. And at this very time, a burst of footsteps suddenly sounded. Bang! A figure, pushing the door in. It's Tuanzo. Everyone's expressions became serious. Tuanzong, what are you doing? Hinata, you said this, why can't I come? Besides, I'm also an elder of Konoha. Tuanzong looked around for a week and said, the list of this year's graduation candidates has come out, I came here, there is something I want to discuss with you, I plan to accept a disciple. Take a disciple? That's right. Tuanzong said, back then, I refused because I thought that disciples would distract me, but now, I am older and I want to find an inheritor, so, choose one of the ninjas who graduated this time. Ape Feiry's heart jumped, guessing something. Hurriedly said. Tuanzong, these are the ones we have already assigned, if you want to choose from outside. Sarutobi quickly wrote a few words on the list. After that, he handed it to Tuanzo. Tuanzong glanced at it, and his face sank. Because Sarutobi Chopper wrote his name after Shiraishi's name. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, the 3 are still a team. The instructor that Sarutobi wrote to Shiraishi was himself. This is the inspiration that Tuanzo, who has just come in, gave the ape flying sun. Kakashi can't do it, Asuma can't, then come by yourself. It's okay to be a group, why can't you do it yourself? Tuanzong grimaced and looked at the ape flying sun. Hinata, as a Hokage, you are so busy, you still have time to collect disciples? Everyone looked at the ape flying sun chop, and did not know the tumultuous operation of the ape flying sun chop. It's not a big problem. Sarutobi said, now that the situation in Konoha has stabilized, and I will not be able to abdicate in many years, then in these last few years, make some more contributions to Konoha, and Shiraishi is very talented, it is very worry-free to teach, I have no problem. Tuanzo, since you want to be a disciple, then choose, the little ninja who did not write the instructor, you can choose, but choose up to 3, I suggest, you just choose one. When people get old, their energy will be limited after all. Tuanzang's face was gloomy. This time, Tuanzo came for Shiraishi. Without Shiraishi, Tuanzo couldn't look at anyone else at all. But the tumultuous operation of the ape flying sun chopping disrupted Tuanzang's plan. I'll bring the list back first, and I'll send it when I'm decided. Well, as soon as possible, don't delay these little ninjas for too long. Episode 16, Tuanzong was cut away by the ape flying sun. But this has nothing to do with Shiraishi. It's time for the first makeup exam. Shiraishi, I can't do it now, what should I do? Naruto was a little anxious. Shiraishi gave Naruto the training method. Naruto has completed the degree of drawing circles with his left hand and circles with his right hand, using the doppelganger technique. The effect is better than before, but it is still far from qualified. It's none of my business. Shiraishi pointed to Inuzuka on the other side. Even Inuzuka's progress has caught up with you, the problem lies with you, not me. For a year, don't think less about a day. Shiraishi stared at Naruto suspiciously. Naruto quickly explained. Shiraishi, I don't mean that, I just want to ask, is there any quick way? Quick? Yes, Naruto's eyes lit up. Where? In dreams, there is everything. No EQ event trigger, talent plus 16. Naruto. Naruto left dejectedly, but Naruto knew that Shiraishi couldn't be blamed. It's true that I haven't worked hard enough. Even Inuzuka, a latecomer, caught up with himself. Yes. Inuzuka eventually chose to use Shiraishi's training method and train with Naruto, and for this reason, he also signed a 1-year sanitation cleaning time with Shiraishi. I'm going to make up the exam. Naruto trotted out of the yard. Shiraishi sat in a chair, holding a book. Inuzuka is trained in complex patterns. Sasuke, on the other hand, is training to draw circles with his left hand and squares with his right hand. Sakura and Ino both stared at Sasuke. The corner of the dark member's mouth twitched. This scene, no matter how you look at it, feels strange. What a young man now. The members of the Dark Division couldn't help but sigh like this. Naruto came to the ninja school and took the retake exam like Naruto, and there were not many people. Iruka stood in front. Begin. The first one, Naruto. Naruto stepped forward and clenched his fists. Transformation, stand-in, Naruto, all passed smoothly. Only doppelganger remains. Ceiling. Doppelganger. The next moment, Naruto's expression froze. Because Naruto found out that he had made a mistake, because he was too nervous, he made a mistake. Iruka-sensei, can I do it again? I just made a mistake, hurry up. Yes. Naruto froze again. There was no mistake this time, but the situation is still not optimistic. It's not a long way from qualifying. Unqualified. Iruka paused and said, but it's much better than last time, Naruto, you've worked hard during this time, thanks to Shiraishi's help. Naruto scratched his head. Shiraishi? Yes. Naruto told Iruka about his training with Shiraishi. Naruto. Iruka patted Naruto on the shoulder and said, there are still 3 days left before the next makeup exam, keep up the good work, maybe you can really pass in 3 days, thank you, Iruka-sensei. Naruto was in a slightly better mood. Walk out of ninja school. Bang. One corner, another figure, just passing by. The two bumped into each other. Mizuki-sensei? Naruto took 2 steps back before he could see the other clearly. It's Naruto, what, did you come here to make up the exam? What do you think, didn't pass? Naruto shook his head. Didn't pass? Mizuki showed a puzzled expression and said, with Naruto's level, you should be able to pass. Your transformation technique is especially good, and in terms of physical skills, it is also very good. The test is doppelganger, and I just don't happen to be good at it. This way. Mizuki glanced at the bench next to him and said, do you want to go and sit next to it? Let me unpack you, no thanks. Mizuki froze, and Naruto's reaction surprised Mizuki, but Mizuki quickly recovered his face. Go sit down, I'll see what your problem is, maybe I can help you solve it. I really don't need to, Mizuki-sensei, I've asked Shiraishi. According to Shiraishi's method, I can improve, and there will be a makeup exam in 3 days. I think, I have a great hope of passing. Mizuki's face sank. Naruto refused, so how could his plan continue? Shiraishi? Mizuki-sensei, don't you know Shiraishi? Shiraishi is a transfer student who only came this year, but Shiraishi is a true genius, a genius that is far stronger than Sasuke. Naruto's eyes lit up a little and said, Shiraishi taught me a very powerful training method. Is there still such a person? Mizuki's eyes flickered for a moment. Naruto, can you take me over to see? I heard you say so. I am very interested in this Shiraishi-san. This? Naruto hesitated and said, Mizuki-sensei, I can take you over, but Shiraishi's personality is more eccentric, and he may say something more ugly. Mizuki-sensei, don't worry about Shiraishi. Mizuki waved his hand. It's okay, how can I possibly think about children? And, genius, it's normal to have character. There were also geniuses among our classmates back then. Naruto nodded. Then Mizuki-sensei, you come with me. Episode 17, Naruto, who is this guy? Didn't I tell you, don't bring people who are not 3 or 4? Mizuki's face darkened. When did you become a good person? Shiraishi, this is Mizuki-sensei. Teacher? Mizuki forced a smile out of his face. Shiraishi, hello, I'm Mizuki. I used to be a ninja school teacher, but now I'm not. Because you didn't pass the internship? No EQ event trigger, talent plus 36. Baisha raised his eyebrows, this time he increased more talent points than any previous time. Mizuki, will this be chatty? He and Irika became trainees at the ninja school at the same time. Irika passed, he didn't pass. This matter Mizuki was worried, and Shiraishi said it directly. Do you respect your predecessor so ignorantly? For some personal reasons. Mizuki explained. I heard that Shiraishi, you designed a training program for Naruto. Naruto said that it would help him a lot. I am a little interested, can you show it to me? Shiraishi-san, inconvenient. No EQ event trigger, talent plus 28. Mizuki. Mizuki felt that the green tendons on his forehead seemed to twitch. Next to him, Sasuke walked over. Mizuki-sensei, it's really not very convenient. This is something created by Shiraishi himself. Even if we learn it, we will definitely not pass it on, and we learn it, and we also pay for something. That's right, that's right. Mizuki showed a somewhat embarrassed expression. I was abrupt. But in fact, Mizuki thinks, what to pretend to be forced? A student of a ninja school, not even a shinobi, still secret? What is there to keep secret? If it weren't for Konoha, there would be Konoha's ninjas everywhere. I'll slap you to death. I wonder what Shiraishi-san need? Shiraishi thought for a moment. What I need, Mizuki-sensei, you may not be able to get it. What is it? Tell me about it. Shiraishi said, I've been interested in fire ninjutsu recently. Mizuki-sensei, will you be a fire den? Nope. Look. No EQ event trigger, talent plus 30. Mizuki's lungs were about to explode. From childhood to adulthood, Mizuki has come into contact with countless people, and there has never been one as difficult to talk about as Shiraishi. Is Naruto a problem child? Mizuki felt that in contrast to Shiraishi, Naruto was simply well-behaved. Even Sasuke looked a little cute. There are also Inuzuka teeth, Sakura, Aino. Simply a representative of good students. I have a ninjutsu that is not taught in ninja school. Are you interested in Shiraishi? What ninjutsu? The art of shadow doppelganger. Shadow doppelganger, an enhanced version of doppelganger. The avatar of the doppelganger is just an illusion and has no actual ability. But the shadow doppelganger art has a substance and can be fought. Of course, compared with the art of multiple shadow identities, it is definitely inferior. Deal. Shiraishi said, Mizuki-sensei, then tell me about the art of shadow doppelganger. Good. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Aino, Inuzuka backed away. This is a deal between Mizuki and Shiraishi. Mizuki's process of the shadow doppelganger technique, little by little. Mizuki-sensei, can you show it to me? Of course. Mizuki prepared for a moment and made a seal. Shadow doppelganger art. The next moment, an identical Mizuki appeared. Shiraishi, is that okay? That's it. Okay, so can I now find out how you trained Naruto? Shiraishi nodded. Sasuke, introduce you and Mizuki-sensei. Good. Sasuke stepped forward and said all the things that Shiraishi said. That's it, first draw the same drawing with 2 hands, and then draw different ones. When you do it, it will really help the seal. Since practicing this, Sasuke has noticed that his printing speed has become much faster. That's it? Mizuki listened, felt that he had been deceived, and obviously made an uncost-effective deal. Mizuki-sensei, this sounds easy, but it's hard to actually do. If you don't believe it, you can try it yourself. Mizuki nodded. I'll try. Mizuki came to the clearing, right next to Naruto, picked up 2 wooden sticks and drew them on the ground. Draw circles with your left hand and squares with your right hand, right? Mizuki closed his eyes and thought for a while, but he still felt that it was quite simple. So, start drawing. After that, Mizuki's expression became very embarrassed. Because Mizuki failed. The failure is obvious. The one on the left is not a circle, and the one on the right is not a square. It's a crooked pattern. Mizuki-sensei, this is difficult. I think you should start with the first step and draw the same pattern first. But this kind reminder from Sasuke sounded especially harsh to Mizuki. Mizuki felt that he was looked down upon. Not only looked down upon by ninjas of the same age. It was even looked down upon by several children. Good, good. Mizuki let out a long breath and forcibly calmed down. Then I'll try again. Both hands have the same pattern at the same time. Episode 18, however, something that embarrassed Mizuki happened. Draw with both hands at the same time. The circle is drawn, but it is not so round. Next to it is the circle drawn by Naruto. Mizuki's circle is not as good as Naruto's circle. Mizuki quickly retracted his gaze. But by this time, Naruto had already seen it. Mizuki-sensei, the circle you drew doesn't seem to be as round as the circle I draw. Mizuki's expression froze for a moment. That's right, it seems that Sasuke-san is right, this is really not a simple thing. Naruto, you are doing a very good job, you have to continue to work hard, the teacher believes that you can. Yes, Mizuki-sensei. Naruto patted his chest. Before the next makeup exam, I will definitely succeed. Mizuki put down the stick in his hand and came to Shiraishi. Shiraishi, how is it? Do you have any questions about the shadow doppelganger art? Shiraishi nodded. There is indeed something that feels wrong, Mizuki-sensei, this step should be operated like this, not as Mizuki-sensei you said. Mizuki's pupils shrank suddenly. This was intentional by Mizuki. Mizuki was very dissatisfied with Shiraishi. How could it be so easy to give the complete shadow doppelganger technique to Shiraishi? What Mizuki taught Shiraishi was the art of shadow doppelgangers with mistakes. This mistake is something that many people who practice the art of shadow avatars will make. Even if there is this mistake and omission, the shadow doppelganger art can be successfully performed, but there is a problem. That is, the side effects will be greater. Like the multiple shadow doppelganger, the shadow doppelganger has side effects. It will cause great mental pressure on the caster. Normal shadow avatar art, because the number of avatars is small, so if it is not used frequently, there is almost no problem, and those side effects will recover over time. However, if the side effects are aggravated, it will not be so easy to recover. If used too much, it can even cause permanent mental damage. Mizuki deliberately wanted to pit a handful of white stones. But unexpectedly, Shiraishi actually saw it. Could it be that Shiraishi has studied the art of shadow doppelgangers before? It can't be the first time you learn and see the problem, right? If that's the case, it's terrifying. Impossible. I must have learned it before. This kid, on purpose. How insidious. Mizuki looked at Shiraishi with a hint of gloom in his eyes. No EQ event trigger, talent plus 18. Shiraishi was stunned for a moment. Before he began to say this, the talent arrived? Mizuki-sensei, the shadow avatar technique taught by Konoha should not be like this. It's Mizuki-sensei, you practiced it wrong. Yes? Mizuki-sensei, ninjutsu can't be used indiscriminately, let alone taught indiscriminately. If I didn't know your level of Mizuki-sensei, I thought you deliberately taught me in the wrong direction. Mizuki was embarrassed and angry. Why is Shiraishi's words so ugly? What does it mean to know my level? Am I low? Why do you say I'm low? A student, evaluate a senior like this? Mizuki almost jumped. However, Mizuki can't be angry, because if he is angry, it is not a fact that he is deliberately teaching Shiraishi in the wrong direction. Naruto leaned in. Mizuki-sensei, Shiraishi is right, ninjutsu can't be used indiscriminately, since there is a problem, then change it. What Shiraishi said will definitely not be wrong, it must be Mizuki-sensei you accidentally learned wrong. Not necessarily, Naruto, Shiraishi, just listen to it once. Naruto shook his head repeatedly. Shiraishi will definitely not be wrong, Shiraishi is a real genius, only once learned. Iruka-sensei said that Shiraishi's attainment in transformation is already stronger than him. Mizuki-sensei, you should be inferior to Iruka-sensei. Naruto's speaking style also began to be influenced by Shiraishi. Mizuki only felt that an arrow pierced his heart. Fierce, heart-piercing. Mizuki is very jealous, especially when facing Iruka. A person who was inferior to himself as a child. People who needed their own help as a child. Is it better to mix than himself now? It's tolerable, it's unbearable. Now Mizuki hates Iruka the most. Mizuki glanced at Naruto and decided to retract his previous thoughts. Naruto or something, not well behaved at all. As hateful as Shiraishi. I'll go back and check and ask the other ninjas. Shiraishi, don't rush to practice first, and when I get the accurate results, I will come to you and tell you the correct method. Mizuki hurried out of the courtyard. Here, Mizuki doesn't want to stay any longer. Shiraishi closed his eyes. A skill tree comes to mind. Shadow Doppelganger, 100. This ability is quite convenient, allowing the doppelganger to work and the body to rest. It was getting dark. Naruto and the others left one after another. Mizuki created another chance encounter with Naruto. Naruto. Mizuki-sensei, it's a coincidence. Yes. Mizuki patted Naruto on the shoulder. Naruto, come on, we must prove to Iruka that those of us who are not as talented as theirs, as long as we work hard, we can also succeed. Naruto nodded heavily. Episode 19. It's time for the second makeup exam. Naruto walked excitedly towards the ninja school. For passing this assessment, Naruto was already sure. Thinking back to the results of the last time he used the doppelganger, Naruto was satisfied. Shiraishi really deserves to be Shiraishi. The way of drawing circles with my left hand and squares with my right hand has really improved me a lot. Now I use the doppelganger technique twice, and I can succeed at least once. As long as Iruka-sensei can't make things difficult for me, I won't fail. But what Naruto didn't notice was that at this moment, not far behind him, a figure flashed by. It's Mizuki. Recalling the scene at Shiraishi's home that day, Mizuki's eyes flashed with resentment. If you pass the exam, how can I implement my plan? That place, only if you go, is the most suitable. Naruto suddenly sneezed. Hey, what's wrong with me? Naruto looked around in confusion. Could it be that it's too cold? It's time for the exam soon, I'd better hurry up. Enter the classroom. There are fewer students who retake the exam than the last time. I already passed some of the makeup exams last time. Others have given up, recognizing their strength, feeling that they are not enough to pass the graduation exams and prepare to stay in the ninja school for another year. Like Naruto, not much. Let's get started. Yes. The first one, Naruto. Naruto stepped forward. Proficient in sealing. Iruka raised his eyebrows slightly, because Naruto's printing speed and proficiency looked obviously much stronger than before. This guy is really working hard. Iruka thought that if Naruto wasn't too bad, this time, he planned to let Naruto pass. Bang. But soon, the corners of Iruka's mouth couldn't help but twitch. It's just that it looks more skilled, not as good as before. Something completely different from Naruto appeared next to Naruto. Soft, collapsed. Like a slime. Naruto's face changed. No, why is that? Even if I fail, I won't fail to this extent. What's the situation? Naruto was shocked. Iruka-sensei, I made a mistake, give me another chance. Hurry up. Yes. Naruto froze again. But like last time, it still failed. Iruka shook his head. Unqualified. Naruto's face turned pale. I wanted to speak again, but Naruto suddenly felt a very painful stomach. Iruka-sensei, I've eaten a bad stomach, go to the toilet first. Iruka-sensei, you must wait for me. Just now is not my true level. Naruto ran out of the classroom. It hurts. Naruto clutched his stomach and had just walked out of the toilet and had to go in again. And at this time all the candidates have already finished the exam. Iruka looked out the door and frowned. Not back yet? It can't be a prank, does it? After waiting for a while, there was still no one. Iruka was sure. It seems that it is indeed a prank. Iruka shook his head and left the classroom. When Naruto returned, the classroom was empty. Iruka-sensei? Naruto walked out of the ninja school with a lost soul. Very dazed. Not sure where to go. Naruto. Mizuki-sensei? Naruto turned around. Naruto, how's it going? How was the makeup exam? Nothing. Naruto lowered his head. Mizuki patted Naruto on the shoulder and said, I'll take you somewhere. Helplessly, Mizuki led Naruto to a gazebo. Very secluded. There was no one around. But from here, you can overlook some of Konoha streets. On the road, pedestrians come and go. Naruto, do you know why you failed the exam? Not because you're not good enough, but because they don't recognize people like us, mediocre people like us. Let me tell you something. Iruka and I were actually very good friends back then. But over the years, Iruka seems to have changed as a person. Because he became a teacher, I didn't pass the internship. Naruto frowned. Mizuki-sensei, you mean Iruka-sensei did it on purpose? That's right. Mizuki nodded. It's not just Iruka, there are a lot of people. Mizuki looked at Naruto and said, "That Shiraishi that day, I actually can't look at you, Shiraishi?" Naruto was stunned for a moment, then shook his head. "No, Shiraishi is different from the others." "Naruto, don't deceive yourself, I saw it all that day, what Shiraishi said to you and his attitude towards you obviously didn't put you in his eyes." "I know." Naruto said, "However, Shiraishi is like this to everyone, whether it is me, yeah, Sakura, Ino, even Sasuke, Shiraishi can't look at it, because Shiraishi has this capital. Shiraishi is a genius, far beyond us." Naruto looked at Mizuki. "Mizuki-sensei, not only us, you, Iruka-sensei, will soon be surpassed by Shiraishi, those kami ninja I don't know, but, I believe, there is no more genius than Shiraishi. And I just want to get Shiraishi's approval through hard work." The corner of Mizuki's mouth twitched. Episode 20, what is this talking about? Could it be that the brain is broken? Mizuki couldn't understand that Naruto would say such a thing, a person who looked down on himself. Naruto was not disgusted, and he wanted to gain the approval of that person. Is this crazy? But Naruto would have such thoughts, which is actually quite normal. Naruto's living environment since he was a child was regarded with all kinds of contempt. But those people, only looking at Naruto is contemptuous, looking at other people, are normal. This will make Naruto feel the difference in himself. And Shiraishi, looking at everyone with contempt. So, convert it. Naruto felt that he was no different from ordinary people in Shiraishi's eyes, and he was the same as Sasuke, Inuzuka, Sakura, and Ino in Shiraishi's eyes. Therefore, even if he was despised, Naruto felt happy. And, as Naruto said, Shiraishi does have this capital. With the talent shown by Shiraishi, who can compare? Even Sasuke, who had the best talent in the previous class, was far behind. And even more so others? That's why Sasuke took the initiative to follow when he heard Naruto and Shiraishi studying. For so many years, peers at school, Sasuke had not served anyone. Shiraishi is the only one. Like Naruto, Sasuke also wanted Shiraishi's approval. Aren't you disgusted? Why disgust? Naruto asked puzzled. A genius like Shiraishi is originally different from us, but I believe that I can slowly catch up with my efforts. Besides, Shiraishi is not a bad person. If Shiraishi were a bad person, he wouldn't have taught me. I think Shiraishi only speaks like that because he is too genius and his emotional intelligence is not very high. As long as you understand. Moreover, it makes me feel that Shiraishi is more like a living person, and this is Shiraishi's shortcomings. Of course, for Shiraishi, it may not be a disadvantage. Mizuki fell silent. Naruto's reaction was beyond Mizuki's expectations, making the words that Mizuki had prepared unable to continue. If it hadn't been for observing Naruto before, Mizuki had to wonder if Naruto had masochistic tendencies. Is it because Shiraishi's really too genius convinced Naruto? Mizuki shook his head. Impossible. Naruto, forget it. Can Shiraishi be countless times more genius than Sasuke? Part of Shiraishi's information has spread, and many people know it. But Mizuki didn't know. Naruto, Iruka has changed, so, I can be sure that this time it was Iruka who deliberately targeted you. However, I have a way to get you to graduate. Naruto's eyes lit up. What is it? Just defeat Iruka. Mizuki said, I know, in the Hokage building, there is a book of seals hidden with a lot of powerful ninjutsu on it. As long as you bring the book of seals out, I can teach you the ninjutsu above. Learn the ninjutsu above, and you will be able to defeat Iruka. At that time, can Iruka still let you Naruto, who has already defeated him, not graduate successfully? Really? Naruto looked at Mizuki suspiciously, not quite sure. I can guarantee 100%. But wouldn't it be bad to steal something? No, Naruto, you didn't do anything bad to do anything. It was Iruka who did something bad first. You just wanted to graduate from ninja school smoothly. Will you not be able to defect? Of course not. That's it. Naruto nodded. Okay, then I'll go now. Mizuki-sensei, what should I do? Mizuki smiled, leaned close to Naruto's ear, and spoke slowly. Soon, Mizuki sorted out the process. How's it going, Naruto, remember? Remembered. Go ahead. Yes. At dawn, Naruto sneaked into the Hokage building, took advantage of the fact that it was still dawn, found the place Mizuki said, took out the book of seals, and followed the route agreed upon by Mizuki and entered the forest. A hurried siren sounded. The book of seals was stolen. Thief, Naruto. The news came out, and dozens of dark people went in different directions, looking for Naruto's traces. Whether it is Naruto or the book of seals, it is an important thing. When Iruka heard the news, his face suddenly changed. Naruto, don't do anything stupid. As usual, after washing, Shiraishi went outside to buy a breakfast and prepared to go back to the yard to taste it slowly. Suddenly, two figures appeared. Mizuki-sensei, I think it's better to let Shiraishi teach me better. Mizuki-sensei, you even learned the shadow doppelganger technique wrong last time, or Shiraishi pointed out your mistake. The ninjutsu on this sealed book, let Shiraishi take a look. Shiraishi will definitely be able to master it perfectly, and after that, Shiraishi will definitely be able to teach me well. Mizuki didn't expect that near the end of the matter, there would be such a change. Involuntarily, his face sank sharply. For Shiraishi, he became even more resentful. Naruto, give me the Book of Seals. Otherwise, I'll kill you. The Book of Seals was close at hand, and Mizuki finally revealed his true face. Episode 21, Naruto was stunned. Mizuki-sensei, what did you say? Humph. Mizuki snorted coldly and said, until now, I don't hide from you now, I let you steal the Book of Seals, not to help you at all, but just to borrow your hand and steal this thing. When I get this Book of Seals, I can learn the ninjutsu inside and become a top ninja. And Naruto, you, will become a traitor. Naruto's pupils shrank suddenly. Mizuki-sensei, I believe in you so much, you actually deceived me? Just lying to you, so what? Give me the Book of Seals, or I'll really kill you. Mizuki had already taken out the shuriken from the ninja bag. Give it to me. Don't give. Naruto was furious. Even if I die, I won't give it to you. Failed the makeup exam twice, and Naruto was lying to say that he had no grudge against Irika. When something like this happened, Mizuki came out and gave Naruto hope. For a moment, Naruto treated Mizuki as a close elder. But now, Mizuki actually told Naruto that it was all a lie to him. Naruto was furious. Die? Naruto is not afraid at all. Hey, you too, is it when I don't exist? Shiraishi looked at Naruto and Mizuki in front of him, a little speechless. These two people have been talking here for so long, and they have not even seen themselves. Is his sense of existence so low? Is it very secretive to stand by yourself? Not at all. This is a small pavilion not far from his yard. The surroundings are empty. Shiraishi? Naruto looked at Shiraishi in surprise. Shiraishi, why are you here? I've always been here, before you guys. Shiraishi shook his head and said, it seems that the eyesight of the two of you is not very good, you must quickly treat your eyes, otherwise you will be blind at a young age. Mizuki's face turned gloomy. Shiraishi, don't think you can change anything, no matter how genius, you are just a student who has just graduated, I am a dignified Zonnin, not something you can match. Before he finished speaking, Mizuki suddenly threw the shuriken in his hand. Not aiming at Naruto. Instead, aim at Shiraishi. In Mizuki's opinion, Naruto was completely vulnerable, and Shiraishi's words were obviously much more threatening than Naruto. As a Naka shinobi, you have to deal with the students of the two ninja schools, and you have to use a sneak attack. Mizuki, you really embarrassed Nakato. Shiraishi shook his head, and immediately, his figure took a few steps back, dodging Mizuki's shuriken. Shame? The students in the ivory tower will not understand what a real ninja is. As long as you can kill the opponent, it doesn't matter what means. The most important thing is to win. No matter who you are, now you have only one identity in my eyes, and that is the enemy. Mizuki missed the blow and rushed directly towards Shiraishi. On the other side, Naruto gritted his teeth. Open the Book of Seals. Shiraishi, you must hold on, when I learn this ninjutsu, I will help you. Shiraishi shook his head while dodging Mizuki's attack. To be honest, Mizuki, you disappointed me a little, as a middle ninja. It is just a matter of character by any means, but your physical skills, shuriken, are not good. In this way, it can be regarded as medium tolerance, and the two words of middle patience are really worthless. Mizuki's face sank. What did you say? A product that is not a subordinate tolerant, what qualifications do you have to comment on me? Humph. And the mood to stimulate me? You're going to die at my hands soon. Shiraishi suddenly laughed. Maybe. What? Because, I have already judged it, Mizuki, you are not my opponent. Because of the existence of talent points, Shiraishi is not the same as ordinary ninjas. Physical arts, ninjutsu, ninja tools, you can master it by reading it once. 100 talent points represent the limit of ordinary ninjas. In other words, the moment Shiraishi learns these things, he will reach the level of ordinary ninja cultivation for more than 10 years. Converted again. Sarutobi Hinata is a doctor of ninja and is proficient in almost all ninjutsu. And Shiraishi, it is equivalent to just learning a ninjutsu, and this ninjutsu can reach the level of ape flying sun slash. However, talent points only affect skill. What really determines the strength of a ninja? There are two more important aspects. Physical and mental. The physique determines the amount of chakra ceiling. Spirituality determines the use and resistance to illusion. These two cannot be added directly using talent points. Shiraishi needs to cultivate by himself before he can improve. Now Shiraishi, the talent of physique and spirit, is only at the ordinary level. Like most ordinary ninjas. I.e. Irika, Mizuki, I don't know the fire Genma. These people are the same. In these two aspects, Baishir has cultivated to the upper limit. Therefore, with other conditions ignored, Shiraishi will not be weaker than them. And when Shiraishi learns more ninjutsu, illusion, and physical arts than them, Shiraishi will be stronger than them. But that's not the real upper limit for Shiraishi. Shiraishi can use talent points and break the limiter. With 3,000 talent points, Shiraishi can break the first stage of the limiter. Physical and spiritual talent, greatly improved. I'm not your opponent? Mizuki didn't smile angrily. A subordinate who dares to speak so wildly? I just told the truth. Shiraishi said calmly. This attitude made Mizuki even more angry. Episode 22, Mizuki suddenly froze. Then, I'll let you know what is the strength of the real Zonin. Shadow doppelganger art. The next moment. An identical doppelganger of Mizuki appears. Shadow doppelganger. Possess entities to fight. A body and a doppelganger came from two different directions, towards Shiraishi. Shadow doppelganger art. But at this time, Mizuki found that Shiraishi also became two. Shiraishi is sealed, but the shadow avatar appears faster than Mizuki. Phew. A sound of breaking through the air sounded. A shuriken, thrown out of Shiraishi's hand, shot at Mizuki in an extremely tricky direction. Poof. By the time Mizuki realized it, it was too late to dodge. A wound appeared on Mizuki's leg. Look, I'm right. Shiraishi threw his shuriken again. These shurikens were thrown by Mizuki before and picked up by Shiraishi. Therefore, Mizuki is more angry. He was actually injured by his own ninja. Shiraishi's speed is getting faster and faster. Mizuki was overwhelmed, and some couldn't cope with it. One is that Shiraishi's shuriken thrown is too fast. The second is that Shiraishi's thrown shuriken has a really tricky angle. It's impossible to prevent. Unconsciously, Mizuki found that he had no spare power to attack Shiraishi, and had been passively defensively dodging. This discovery surprised Mizuki's heart. Can't go on like this. When the other ninjas come, I will definitely be caught. This is not the result Mizuki wants. What Mizuki wants is to get the art of sealing and learn powerful ninjutsu. After that, he joined another ninja village under the name of the Book of Seals and became a shinobi. And if you get caught, even if he is not killed, at least it is the result of being imprisoned. Two ends, the gap is so large, how could Mizuki be willing? Shiraishi, I admit that you are indeed a genius. Being able to use shuriken to this extent is indeed not something that ordinary people can do, even if it is a shuriken, above the attainment of shuriken, I am afraid that it is not as good as you. However, you have one biggest weakness. That's you, too young. You at this age, physically, chakra, are far inferior to me. This time, Mizuki did not dodge Shiraishi's shuriken. Instead, he endured these two shurikens abruptly. Poof. Mizuki had two more wounds on his body. Kill you. Mizuki fiercely rushed towards Shiraishi. Die. Shiraishi looked at Mizuki lightly. I said, don't measure me by your level, why do you think that I must be inferior to you at this age, physical strength and chakra? Am I a rookie like you? Before breaking the limiter, Shiraishi's talent in physique and spirit was indeed only at an ordinary level. However, Mizuki is just an ordinary ninja. Shiraishi has cultivated the ordinary level of physique and spirit to the limit. And Mizuki, I'm afraid not yet. Then it means that Shiraishi will not be less than Mizuki in physical strength and chakra, but only more. Ding. A sound of metal clashing sounded. It was seen that the shuriken thrown by Shiraishi collided in midair, forcibly changed direction, and then shot at Mizuki's back at a rapid speed. Mizuki didn't have time to guard against it, no, he didn't realize it at all. Poof. 6 shurikens, all shot into Mizuki's body. Mizuki's eyes widened, and his figure was stumbling, staring at Shiraishi in front of him deadly. The body fell involuntarily. Multiple shadow doppelganger technique. A loud shout suddenly sounded. A dozen Naruto appeared. Shiraishi, I learned, I'll help you. Huh, what about Mizuki-sensei? Naruto rushed over with his shadow doppelganger, but Mizuki had already fallen. It's on the ground. Naruto saw Mizuki falling to the ground. Wow. Naruto's eyes widened. Shiraishi, you actually defeated Mizuki-sensei, who was a Naka ninja. Shiraishi looked at Mizuki on the ground. He's too weak, it's strange that I can't beat him. Hearing this, the seriously injured Mizuki finally couldn't hold on and fainted directly. There was a sound of footsteps. More than a dozen ninjas quickly rushed to this side. However, Mizuki-sensei is a Nakanin. So what? Iruka stepped out of the crowd. Naruto, Shiraishi, if you're okay, what the hell is going on? Mizuki? Why is Mizuki here? Who injured Mizuki? Naruto explained the ins and outs of the matter. Iruka's pupils shrank. It was Mizuki who instigated Naruto to steal the Book of Seals, but Mizuki deceived you. Mizuki's real purpose was to defect with the Book of Seals, after which Shiraishi defeated Mizuki? That's right, that's it. Naruto looked at Iruka and said, Iruka-sensei, the last time I took the makeup exam, I suddenly had a stomachache and it hurt for a long time, so I didn't play well. It may be what Mizuki-sensei did to me. Otherwise, you can ask Shiraishi. I'm really a doppelganger, and I passed. Iruka looked at Shiraishi. Episode 23, Shiraishi nodded. Sort of. Naruto laughed. But that's not what Iruka cares about. It was Shiraishi who actually defeated Mizuki. How can it be? Shiraishi is even a genius. But Mizuki is not a shinobi. A real shinobi. And Shiraishi had just graduated from ninja school. Shiraishi, is it really you who defeated Mizuki? He's too weak. Iruka. No EQ event trigger, talent, +8. Shiraishi's words made Iruka suffer a little. Mizuki is too weak. And himself, Mizuki is not much different. Shiraishi is confident in his talent for ninjutsu. As long as the talent points are enough, everything can be learned in an instant. But Shiraishi never really fought a ninja above Naka ninja. Therefore, when Mizuki made a move, Shiraishi did not act rashly. But soon, Shiraishi judged it. Mizuki is no match for himself. Shiraishi has a more sober understanding of his strength. Shiraishi has a chance to kill Mizuki. But did not kill, just seriously injured. Because the talent points reported back on Mizuki are the most received by Shiraishi so far. Moreover, Mizuki is not a threat to Shiraishi now, and it will be even more so in the future. Keeping it alive is a better option for Shiraishi. We'll take this person with us, and we'll probably ask you later. A member of the Dark Division stepped forward. Soon, only Iruka, Shiraishi, and Naruto remained. Don't tell anyone else about this matter, besides. Iruka looked at Naruto and said, Naruto, I'll give you another chance to take the test, really? When? Naruto's eyes lit up. Right now. Good. Immediately, Naruto began to seal up. Bang. A doppelganger appears. Iruka-sensei? Iruka glanced at Naruto's doppelganger, similar to Naruto's 8 or 9 points. From the concept of doppelganger, he was already qualified. Good. Naruto, it seems that you were affected last time when it was real. I declare that you are qualified. Naruto, congratulations. Naruto jumped up. Great. Iruka-sensei, thank you. Iruka waved his hand and said, You're welcome, you deserve it, I'll go first. By the way, the day after tomorrow at the ninja school for class, you must remember to come on time. Good. Shiraishi, thank you. After Iruka left, Naruto bowed deeply to Shiraishi. If you hadn't taught me, I wouldn't have qualified. It's not early, I'll go back. Without waiting for Naruto to reply, Shiraishi walked straight to his home. Thank you, Shiraishi. Naruto's voice came again. 2 days later. Morning. Shiraishi went to the ninja school according to the appointed time. Walk into the classroom. Compared to the previous normal classes, the number of people is much smaller. Because of those students, they failed the graduation exam. Iruka walked into the classroom. Good morning, students. Good morning, teacher. Iruka stretched out his hand and pressed down. Everyone knows about today's matter, so I won't sell it, and directly announce the results about your class. Class 7. Naruto Uzumaki, Sakura Haruno, Sasuke Uchiha. Class 8. Ino Yamanaka, Dingji Akimichi, Shikamaru Nara. Class 10. Hinata, Shino the Oil Girl, Inazukaya. The above is all the results of the class. Do you have anything you want to ask? Naruto couldn't wait to raise his hand. Iruka-sensei, where is Shiraishi? Iruka glanced at Shiraishi and withdrew his gaze. Shiraishi's situation is more special. There will be a more special teacher to teach Shiraishi the specific situation. It is not convenient to announce it today, you will know it later. Iruka thought back to what he had heard and couldn't help but sigh. Genius, really is genius. Unexpectedly, Naruto-sama, the kind of person who has not taught disciples for many years, came to be interested. In the future, Shiraishi will definitely have a great future. Why can't Shiraishi be in the same class as me? I don't want to be with the smelly fart Sasuke at all. Shiraishi, Sakura, how good 3 people are. Sakura next to her showed a look of disgust. It's not good at all, I just want to be with Sasuke. Ino looked at Sakura with a hint of envy in his eyes. But Ino knew that it was impossible for the incuba butterflies to separate. Okay, the placement situation, that's all over. Now everyone can leave. Tomorrow, your respective team teachers will go to you. Shiraishi, you stay, I have something to say to you. Shiraishi nodded. Shiraishi, come with me somewhere. Good. Iruka took Shiraishi and went straight to the Hokage building. All the way until, enter the Hokage office. Sarutobi sat behind his desk. Naruto-sama, Shiraishi has arrived. Good, good. Ape Fury stood up, looked at Shiraishi, and showed a smile. Naruto-sama. Shiraishi, come and sit. Sarutobi pointed to a chair. Next to him, Iruka said, Shiraishi, your leading teacher is none other than Naruto-sama. Episode 24. Shiraishi nodded. This made Iruka a little uncomfortable, and Iruka originally thought that Shiraishi would be surprised. I didn't expect Shiraishi to act so indifferent. Good teacher. Ape Flying Sun was also a little surprised by Shiraishi's reaction, but thinking of Shiraishi's identity as a problem boy, he was immediately relieved. Hello, hello. Shiraishi, do you have any opinion on me becoming your leading teacher? No opinion. Shiraishi shook his head. It's pretty much the same. The corner of Ape Flying Sun's mouth twitched. What does this mean? Almost? Could it be that he is similar to the other ninja who lead the team? I'm a Hokage. No EQ event trigger, talent plus 23. Shiraishi's eyes lit up slightly. Ape Fei rethought about it, and felt that Shiraishi really didn't seem to be wrong. With Shiraishi's talent, what ninjutsu, illusion, physical art, learned in one go, Shiraishi actually doesn't need a teacher at all, just give Shiraishi a ninjutsu scroll. That's right, Shiraishi. Your talent is good, this is a recognized thing, but in order to become a good ninja, talent is only one aspect, acquired effort and growth are equally important. I've made a plan for you. Because I'm Hokage, time is really running out, so I'll arrange someone for you. Of course, your teacher is still me. If you encounter any problems, you can come to me at any time. Shiraishi nodded. Yes, teacher. Okay, then let's do it today. Tomorrow, I will go to you with that person. Iruka, take Shiraishi out. Iruka got up. Shiraishi followed Iruka. Shiraishi, how does it feel about becoming a disciple of Hokage-sama? This is Naruto-sama. Naruto-sama has not had a disciple for many, many years. Shiraishi, you have become a disciple of Hokage-sama, then Sanin-sama is your senior brother and senior sister. Iruka was excited. The next day, Asuma found Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Akimichi Dingji. Hinata, Inazukaya, Oil Girl Shino, waiting until the sunset red. Kakashi was late. Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, the breath between the three, is not too harmonious. If only Sasuke were replaced by Shiraishi. Naruto looked at Sasuke next to him. You think I want to be with you? Sasuke glanced at Naruto, coldly. It's just a crane tail. What did you say? Didn't I say crane tail? Humph, I'm not a crane tail for a long time, I learned a particularly powerful ninjutsu, except for Shiraishi, none of you will be my opponent. Hehe, I admire your ability to lie. Sakura looked at the two who were arguing, at a loss. A figure fell. You are the students I want to lead? Teacher? Only then did the three react and quickly look at Kakashi. Introduce yourself, I'm Kakashi, Shinobu Konoha. Kakashi, the elite upper shinobi, but still the upper shinobi, is just a special division among the upper shinobi, in this way, to show that their strength and merits are stronger than ordinary kami shinobi. Hello Kakashi-sensei. There was a knock on the door. Shiraishi came to the gate of the courtyard. You're Shiraishi, right? Shiraishi nodded. I'm Ebisu, and Naruto-sama asked me to come over. Hello, I'm Shiraishi. Ebisu glanced at Shiraishi seriously. After so many years of slashing, Ape Flying Sun has never accepted a disciple again. Now there is an exception. Ebisu wanted to see how brilliant Shiraishi was that made Sarutobi excited. Naruto-sama asked me to come and help you train the basics. Is there anything you don't know about the basics of ninjas? I may not be the strongest in terms of strength, but I still have some experience in terms of basic professors. Shiraishi thought for a moment. To be honest, no. None? Ebisu was stunned for a moment. Shiraishi's answer made Ebisu stunned. Ape Flying Sun cut him over, that is, let him teach Shiraishi the foundation. Ebisu is particularly good at this. Otherwise, Sarutobi Hinata would not have let Ebisu teach Konohamaru. But now Shiraishi's answer made Ebisu unable to answer the call. At the first time, Ebisu's reaction was that Shiraishi was lying. Because Ebisu does not believe that anyone can be at Shiraishi's age, all the basics are perfectly mastered. But Shiraishi is a disciple of Ape Flying Sun. So be it, Shiraishi, shall I give you a test? May I? Yes. Then let's go to the training ground. The two headed to a nearby training ground. Shiraishi, I'll test your basic body technique first. I will suppress my strength to a level similar to yours, and I won't use any means other than basic body art. Now, Shiraishi, attack me. Shiraishi nodded. So fast. Ebisu pupils shrank. The next moment, Ebisu discovered a fact that shocked him. Because he was actually suppressed. Himself, a special upper shinobi, was actually suppressed by a lower shinobi who had just graduated from a ninja school. Even if you limit a lot of means. But I have at least experience. Ebisu thought he could easily suppress Shiraishi. After that, find out the shortcomings in Shiraishi's basic body technique, and point out Shiraishi's shortcomings as a passerby. But now. The situation was beyond Ebisu's expectations. Episode 25, Shiraishi is so strong? Ebisu suppressed his strength to the level of inferiority. No techniques other than shinobi are used. But, after all, Ebisu is particularly tolerant. Second only to Shangshin. Therefore, in terms of experience, it is far stronger than lower tolerance. In this case, Ebisu was suppressed by Shiraishi. What does this mean? This made Ebisu's face a little unbearable. Sure enough, it is worthy of the person that Lord Naruto fancy. It's not comparable to ordinary shinobi. Ebisu does not know the news that Mizuki was defeated by Shiraishi. Otherwise, Ebisu would not have been so shocked. Since that's the case, then I'll improve my strength a little and raise it to the level of medium patience. The next moment, the momentum on Ebisu's body changed. It's always okay this time. Ebisu looked at Shiraishi. Shiraishi, come again. Shiraishi nodded and continued to attack Ebisu. Ebisu sensed something wasn't right. Because, Ebisu found, the pressure remained. Themselves are still at a disadvantage. This discovery made Ebisu look confused. Why did I raise my strength to the level of medium tolerance, or is it a disadvantage? Ebisu's eyes showed surprise. Could it be that this white stone's strength is so strong? Or have I neglected exercise during this time and become weaker? Ebisu looked at Shiraishi and his eyes flickered. I don't believe it, come again. This time, Ebisu restored his strength to a particularly tolerant level. In other words, this is already Ebisu's true strength. In addition to not using ninjutsu, illusion, etc. However, the result surprised Ebisu. This time, Ebisu only found a little feeling, but as time went by, Ebisu found that he still did not gain an advantage, he was still a disadvantage, and the disadvantage was still expanding over time. Stop. Ebisu hurriedly called a halt. Senior? This is the end of the test, I already know your situation. Ebisu took a deep look at Shiraishi, and his mood was very complicated. Let's do this today, I'll go back and sort out the situation. Good. Ebisu left, and when he turned the corner, his figure involuntarily jumped a little lost in thought. Shiraishi's situation, Ebisu figured it out. In terms of physique, on chakra, they are all comparable to themselves. And in the basic body technique, even mastered more perfect than himself. This is why he still fell into a disadvantage when using his special forbearance strength. Of course, Ebisu believes. As long as the two go all out, there is no limit, and it will be themselves who win. He has an advantage in ninjutsu. But here's the problem. Whether it is physical arts, ninjutsu, or illusion, Shiraishi can learn it as soon as he learns it. Well, just give Shiraishi a chance to learn. One day. No, it doesn't even take a day. Shiraishi will become stronger himself. Thinking of this, Ebisu couldn't help but feel a touch of bitterness in her heart. That's the real thing, genius. I worked so hard to get the strength I am today. But for Shiraishi, it's at your fingertips. Naruto-sama. Ebisu walked into the Hokage building. Ebisu, how's it going? I can't teach Shiraishi? Can't teach? Sarutobi said, Shiraishi, this child does have some personality problems, but his nature is not bad. Ebisu, you don't need to worry about a child. No, Naruto-sama. Ebisu shook his head. It's not because of this, Shiraishi didn't say anything. I really can't teach Shiraishi. Shiraishi's mastery of basic skills is better than me. How can I teach him? Better than you mastered? Yes. Ebisu nodded and said, whether it's the foundation body technique, or the transfiguration technique, the doppelganger technique, the avatar technique. These white stones are more perfect than I am. Moreover, Shiraishi's physique, chakra, is not much different from me. It can be said that the current Shiraishi already has the ability to be above the middle ninja. And if Shiraishi is allowed to learn a few more ninjutsu that suit him, Konoha special upper ninja, few people will be Shiraishi's opponents. Such people, I really can't teach. Ape Flying Sun was a little surprised. The news of Shiraishi's defeat of Mizuki, Sarutobi Hinata, is aware. There is only a line between Naka Ninja and Special Shinobi, but these are two completely different concepts. Shiraishi's strength has actually reached this level? Naruto-sama, this mission, I can't continue, nothing else, Naruto-sama, I'll leave first. Good. Sarutobi waved his hand. It wasn't until Ebisu completely disappeared that Sarutobi retracted his gaze. This is much more genius than the Watergate back then. For a moment, the ape flying sun chop also had no idea. Genius to this extent, ape flying sun chopping has not been taught. Neither will the big snake pill. Go get Asuma and Kakashi, over. Yes, Naruto-sama. A dark part quickly disappeared. Not long after, Asuma and Kakashi's figures appeared in the Hokage building. Father. Naruto-sama. Is there something to find us? Sarutobi nodded. It's about Shiraishi.